Vikings Valhalla Season 1 has been packed with action, keeping fans completely glued to the screen until the very end. And the producers of the show tried to keep a lot of the scenes historically accurate, but in terms of brutality and violence, the show often leaves viewers surprised. From beheadings, betrayals, to brutal acts of vengeance, get ready, as in today's video, we're about to talk about some Viking Valhalla's scene that went too far. Starting us off, carving vengeance. In the first episode of the season, we got to meet Freydis, Eric's daughter, a very exciting and interesting character who travels alongside her brother, Leif Eric's daughter, from Greenland to Kattegat. If you've watched the original Vikings, hearing the word Kattegat probably brings back a lot of brutal memories. But anyway, as soon as we see her on the screen, Freydis has a purpose. She's on a mission to seek vengeance against a man who sexually assaulted and even maimed her by marking the shape of a cross on her back. Apparently, the Christian Viking claimed that he was converting her from paganism to Christianity by marking her. So we sort of understand why Freydis has traveled so far to find the man who did that to her. And despite everything that has happened, she's still ready to dish out her own version of justice. At the end of episode 1, when she finally comes face to face with the Viking who abused her, she leaves a mark of her own. Freydis literally plunges a knife right into the heart of her abuser. And no, it doesn't end there. She then proceeds to pull the knife out and carve a cross on his chest, with his heart slowly bleeding out. It was a really chilling scene that turned out to be very difficult to stomach. Next, we have traitors will not be tolerated. Alright, this scene was just cold. It was so intense that we couldn't even take our eyes off the screen for even a second. It's like at one point everything is going nice and smooth, and in the very next, it's just completely the opposite. Anyway, remember when the Viking army finally took down London Bridge and cut King Edmund from the city, taking the young ruler in custody? King Canute, the Viking who led the war effort, announces that he's going to be staying in England to rule alongside King Edmund. But right away, we can tell that Canute is a different breed of a ruler. He knows the importance of allies. He thanks the Ealdorman of Mercia for withdrawing his army, because if his army had attacked the Vikings, Canute would have pretty much been a dead man. But one way or the other, the Ealdorman did betray King Edmund. And trust us when we tell you this, King Canute does not tolerate traitors of any kind. Canute seems really fair and just as he's standing there praising his allies, but as soon as he announces that there's a traitor in the midst, the mood shifts for the worse. The scene was just so difficult to watch, as King Canute beheads the Ealdorman for betraying King Edmund. Can you believe that? King Canute beheads the man whose actions actually helped him take over London Bridge. It's a scene that pulls at our heartstrings, a very nerve-wracking scene that's almost impossible to watch. Moral of the story, if your ally betrays your enemy, he's still a traitor. Now for an ungodly sacrifice. Now we already know that the Vikings are pretty big on sacrifices. Even in the original Vikings season, we saw a lot of sacrifices made to the Norse gods, that too in different styles. So we imagined that Vikings Valhalla wouldn't be any different. It is a part of their culture after all, right? In fact, we did see some sacrifices in Viking Valhalla, but a brother watching his own brother be sacrificed? No way. We had no idea we'd ever see something like that. The scene was just so uncomfortable to sit through. And what makes it even more uncomfortable is how Jarl Kar had to see his brother be sacrificed to the gods, with his throat literally slit right before his eyes as his parents watched on as participants. While the scene was just gruesome, it helped us understand Jarl Kar a lot. Now you can tell why he's so hateful of pagans and their gods, why he's become the monster he is today. But anyway, it's a scene that still continues to haunt us till date, and if you ask us, we really think it's a scene that went too far. Up next, it's in the details. So what could top a brother watching his brother's throat get slit? Not much, right? But wait till you hear about this. Before going into battle against the Christian army, the leader of the Vikings, Jarl Hakon, demands that a message must be sent to Odin in Asgard. And obviously to go to Asgard, you'd need to be dead. In other words, Jarl Hakon is literally demanding someone to sacrifice himself in order to deliver a message. And what makes this scene even scarier is that one young man by the name of Odin actually steps forward and offers himself in a human ritual sacrifice to Odin. From there, it just gets weirder. People around Odin start to praise him, and he soon starts to get treated with a lot of respect because of the bravery he's shown. Some people even try to touch him before he's slaughtered, only to say that they felt the great Odin before he went to Odin. And this sacrifice is different. It's not the usual slitting of the throat or something. This time around, the priests use a huge spike to paralyze Odin's body. A big spike goes into the base of his neck. If that scene alone isn't enough to give you nightmares, then perhaps watching the priests drink Odin's blood afterwards will do the trick. The scene still continues to give us nightmares even today. Now, in other related news, grounded expectations. After a spine-chilling but successful season 1, fans are having the hardest time waiting for the second season of the show. Like the first season, both the second and third season will have 8 episodes each, and unfortunately, Unfortunately, this is the only good news we have, and in case you couldn't sleep at night wondering what's going to happen to Prince Harold, Freydis, or Leif, it's best you just ground your expectations, because you'll have to wait until 2023 to finally know. And we double-checked releases for May on Netflix, but nope, Vikings Valhalla Season 2 is not on the list. Digital Spy did confirm that editing on the season is taking place, but apart from that, we have absolutely nothing. And Vikings aside, we personally think it's a pretty bad move, especially with everything going on at Netflix. The content platform has seen a huge decline in their subscriber base after changing some things around. Maybe releasing Season 2 of the show could have helped keep some subscribers, considering how huge Vikings has become. But anyway, guess we'll just have to wait like everyone else. A New World. Season 1 of the show will probably be going down as a very entertaining but horrid and violent 8 episodes. We saw so much killing and war. The last episode of the season even ended with a huge bloody clash between the Christians and the Vikings that later turned out to be a really emotional scene. But when Newsweek asked showrunner Jeb Stewart what to expect from Season 2, what he said had us really thinking about what to expect from Season 2. The Vikings will be traveling a lot, that's for sure. Stewart talked about how the Vikings traveled to Russia, the Black Sea, and a lot of other places around the world. So in Season 2, we'll probably be seeing the Vikings break out of Scandinavia once and for all. It'll be like a whole new world, but in any case, it'll add some dimension to the show as well. Apart from just beheading and human sacrifices, we might get to see some more history of the Vikings and how they took over history for a brief period of time. Not sticking too close, but like almost every hit show, there is some controversy that surrounds the acclaimed sequel. A lot of people who've apparently turned historians after watching the season claim that there are a lot of historical inaccuracies. And some fans, or let's just call them troublemakers, make a lot of noise when a black Viking was cast in the show. Apparently, they claim that there were no black people in the Viking culture at the time. But history proved them wrong too, and showrunner Jeb Stewart also had a lot to say about the show's historical inaccuracies. He said that there are 1,000 ways of looking at history, and as far as writing a show is concerned, we can't always stick to history because, well, history can be cruel, and the show wouldn't last even an episode if the writers stuck to history. But anyway, we're not complaining. We love the show. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Which scene from Vikings Valhalla gave you nightmares? Did we miss a really gruesome scene? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.